We are doing that thing where at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Good morning, everyone. It is the 7th of June. My name is Sean. This is Brandon. And we are coming to you live from Traffic Services at the Traffic Safety Programs Office. And it's Monday. It's a happy Monday, everyone. Brandon, how it goes?
Excellent. That was an excellent weekend, so I feel great and happy to be back with everybody. How you doing, Sean?
I can't complain. Well, actually, I can complain. There's lots to complain about. My air conditioning system's not working perfectly, and no fan will replace an air conditioning unit. But I survived the weekend regardless, and I'm here, happy and cool in the office.
That's why he keeps it tight up there. There's nice ventilation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So the start of the show, we got to talk about Vision Zero Enforcement Team.
Right. Yeah. So today we're going to be covering for you guys the VZET locations. So that's the Vision Zero Enforcement Team. We're also going to go over the impaired operation stats from the weekend, updated by our friend Scott Matthews, DC Scott Matthews. We've got 2 serious collisions to talk about involving some 2-wheeled vehicles, as well as we have some update on our 2-wheeled safety campaign coming to you guys next week. So locations for our VZET enforcement team today is going to be 12 division as well as 55 division, and I've got that for you guys so I can show you exactly where they are. So if you're in 12 division, you're going to be looking at, there we go. So 12 division, oh my goodness, is that easy for you guys to see?
It's a little small, but we'll work with it.
So 12 division, there we go. As far south as St. Clair, as far north as, oh my goodness, it doesn't show there. I'm sorry, guys, I don't have the actual road divisions for you guys. However, 55, I do have the divisions because it goes as north as Eglinton, as far east as Victoria Park Avenue, west to Don River, and south to Danforth. So if you're in those divisions, if you don't already know, you can actually go to the Toronto Police website, just like I am here, and it will show you where your division boundaries are in case you're curious. But otherwise, that's where those enforcement teams are going to be for you today.
And essentially, the Vision Zero Enforcement Team are a group of officers dedicated to targeting or focusing on the behaviors that lead to serious injury or death on our roads. They're focused on speeders, aggressive drivers, distracted drivers, and impaired drivers. And again, the goal is to reduce, if not eliminate, serious injury or death on our roads, because we acknowledge that minor collisions are inevitable, but the ones that lead to serious injury and death are preventable. So that's their goal, that's their mission, and they're doing a great job at it.
Excellent. So the stats for impaired driving, not a great weekend for impaired driving stats, unfortunately. And we did get those, like I said, updated from our good friend Scott Matthews down in the CIB. Sean, did you want to take away the impaired operation stats?
Sure. So over the weekend, DC Matthews did a post this morning on Twitter, giving us the update. 16 people were arrested for impaired operation offenses, including 4 who refused to provide a breath sample, 4 that were twice the legal limit, and 6 more were were issued a 3-day license suspension for worn range readings. And just to dig down into that, 16 people is higher than last week. That's unfortunate. Refused to provide a breath sample. That means that they, when the demand was made, they said, no, we're not going to play. And they may or may not have been impaired. Now, but what happens is you're charged for an offense, and the consequences of that are the same as though you had blown over. So they've not done themselves any favors by refusing to comply with a demand, as you're legally responsible to do when an officer makes one. So that just a little info there. And in terms of worn range readings, that means that they provided a breath sample roadside that was above the legal limit to drive, but not above the criminal limit where they would be arrested. So it's still not permissible to drive with more than or the BAC over 0.05, whereas 0.08 is going to be a criminal charge. So
that's right. Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Far too many people on the road that have alcohol in their systems, or drugs for that matter. Now that usually we get a report from Scott that says a certain number of them were impaired by drug. I'm assuming that none of these were impaired by drug because they weren't noted that way. But
that's right.
Unfortunately, 16 drivers too many.
Yes, and like Sean was saying, the warn range there, anything over the O5 gives you that warn range, and we did have 6 other individuals who were given 3-day license suspensions for being within that warn range. So when they provided a breath sample, it indicated that it was above that warn range. Unfortunately, that means that they weren't going to be driving their vehicle away. They weren't arrested. However, their license is still suspended for 3 days. And I mean, so this happened on Saturday. So it's now the work week. So they had to find out another way to
Get
potentially
to
get
work.
to work, right?
Yeah. We're in a lockdown situation, at least for the next little while. Not that much longer, from what I understand, but remains the fact that there's nowhere you should be going. So the fact that not only were they on the roads, they were impaired. So likely not essential travel. But 3-day suspensions, we've been seeing a number over the last month or so where they're getting 7-day suspensions, and that means they've had more than one warn range suspension in a 10-year period. So indicating there might be an issue. Once you get to 3, you're going to have to get an interlock system installed in your vehicle, which means you have to provide a breath sample in order to start your car. Very expensive to maintain, but suggests there's an issue.
Expensive to maintain because it does come at your own cost, and very, very difficult to defeat. So the folks who think, oh, well, it's okay, I'll just get somebody else to blow or whatever. No. You have to update that very frequently. And whenever you don't actually, provide a sample, your car just starts, the alarms go off everywhere. So it's very, very, very easy for us to spot. And I do mean your car alarms, your horn will start honking as you're driving down the road.
Flashing lights.
Flashing lights. So it's extremely easy to spot. So not only is it expensive, it's a large inconvenience to your overall quality of life, much more so than just getting an Uber home.
Yeah. And there was something else I was going to mention there, and I've already forgotten what it is. So, okay, we'll move it on.
Okay, so we'll move on.
But before we do, I just want to recap that we are going to be covering 2 news releases now,
right?
And then once we're through that, we'll talk about what's coming up next week. So stay tuned for that.
That's right. Okay, so the first news release, unfortunately, involving a vehicle and a cyclist. So we had this happen on Friday, June 4th. We put out a news release to the public, so it is available for everybody who goes to Toronto Police website and accesses the new news releases there. However, we've got it here for you guys as well because we're just that fancy. It was reported that a 49-year-old man operating a 2011 Honda Civic westbound on Eglinton Avenue West, and a 24-year-old man was riding a bicycle eastbound on the cycle path west of the intersection. Cyclist attempted to cross Scarlet Road while riding in the path and was struck by a Honda, which was making a left turn. Cyclist, unfortunately, suffered life-threatening injuries and was transported to hospital. So this goes a lot into what we've been talking about quite regularly, at least for the last 2 months, just with the increase in temperature, with people getting outside, with the lockdown happening and people looking for things to do, you're going to see a lot more vulnerable road users on the road, and cyclists fall into that category. And unfortunately, we're going to see more of this until we're able to really communicate that message to the public of how it's a team effort. Right, we need cyclists and motor vehicles to understand that it's not a right-of-way situation, right? It's the safest possible action situation. If you can make a turn, yes, you can make the turn, but can you make it safely? That's the question. We get people coming into our TikToks very regularly saying, "Well, can I do this?" Yes, you can do whatever it is you're asking, but it has to be done in a manner that is safe. And if you go ahead and do that, assuming it's my right to do so, I know that through law, unfortunately, that's not going to protect you if you've done this within your right, but you've done it unsafely.
Well, it's funny you say that because it's almost every law has the caveat saying as long as it is safe to do so. You can make a U-turn as long as it's safe to do so. You turn you turn right, you can do that as long as it's safe to do so, and you're held accountable for anything that happens when it's not safe. So you want to be sure. You want to be doing those shoulder checks. You want to check your mirrors. You want to be absolutely positive it's safe to move. The argument is, well, how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to be looking everywhere at the same time and navigating my car? Well, it's part of the responsibility of driving. Now, in particular, with this collision, police are asking local residents, businesses, and drivers who may have security or dash camera footage of the area or incident to call investigators, and you can contact us at 416-808-1900. That's the telephone number here at Traffic Services, our front desk. You can also call anonymously to 416-222-TIPS. That's 416-222-8477. And that is a way to report it anonymously. There's also web stuff. You can go onto our website and get that information there. Now, there's another, let's see here. There's another news release that I wanted to share with you. And that is this one here. Let's see here. 7887. There we go. And that occurred on the Don Valley Parkway and Eastern Avenue. Let me just put this over to the other screen so I'm not twisting. Now, this occurred on Saturday, June 5th at approximately 10:11 p.m. Police received a report of a collision involving a motor vehicle and a motorcycle. It's reported that a 24-year-old man was operating a 2008 Aprilia 750cc motorcycle southbound on the Don Valley Parkway. A 22-year-old man was operating a 2003 Volvo V70 motor vehicle southbound on the Don Valley Parkway. The motorcycle attempted to pass the driver in the Volvo on the right shoulder near Eastern Avenue. The motorcycle lost control and crashed into the guardrail. The motorcyclist was ejected from the motorcycle into a live lane of traffic where the motorcycle was struck by the driver of a Volvo. So the motorcyclist suffered life-threatening injuries and was taken to hospital and is being investigated by Traffic Services. And again, police are asking that local residents, businesses, and drivers who may have security or dash camera footage of the area or incident contact investigators. And you can do that at the number provided, which is 808 1900, 416-808-1900, or Crime Stoppers at 416-222-TIPS. And yes, that is our unfortunate news. But as you said, Brandon, it ties in perfectly with the fact that we are going into the two-wheel safety campaign.
That's right.
Next week will be the two-wheel safety campaign, where we once again try and bring more attention to vulnerable road users such as motorcyclists and cyclists. But it doesn't exclude pedestrians. Even though we're talking about two-wheeled and the focus will be there, we want all vulnerable road users to be safe and all road users to be safe. But it's very much a team effort. Whether you're driving, riding, walking, traffic is a shared responsibility. And you may have caught that the motorcycle lost control while it was trying to pass on the shoulder. It's an unfortunate situation. That particular event may not have been the best choice. Passing on the right's not legal, but nowhere do we want someone getting injured regardless of their activity. And in the cyclist position, it's unclear. I haven't. We're not trying to blame the victims. We're simply trying to get more information and collect evidence. So if anyone has help that they can provide by way of video, please contact investigators.
That's right. Yep. And the two-wheel safety campaign, and Sean touched on this. The reason why these campaigns are important is because it helps direct our teams. So teams like the Vision Zero enforcement team to go to areas where maybe these collisions are happening, or where there is some risk to vulnerable road users, pedestrians, cyclists, and two-wheeled vehicles, and apply the enforcement there in order to get hopefully some sort of compliance and increase the level of safety for members of the public. So.
Yeah. At the end of the day, our goal is the same. It's always the same. We want to reduce serious injury and death on our roadways, and we're always looking to new ways to share the messaging that will help or best do that. So, yeah, it's a never-ending struggle to try and draw attention to vulnerable road users. But with that, I wanted to wrap up by discussing where you can reach us, how you can follow us, where you can find us. If you're on Twitter already, you know that we're at Traffic Services. But if you're following us anywhere else, please follow us on Twitter. We'd love to have you there. We're publishing content there on a regular basis. We also have an Instagram account, Traffic Services Toronto. You can get us on YouTube, Traffic Services Toronto Police, and where we're going to be going to at 8 o'clock this morning, which is TikTok. You can get us at Traffic Services, where we have about a 1 hour live stream Q&A, where very, very interactive. You ask us questions, we answer them online for you live, and it's a great time. We've been doing this for a couple months. It's fantastic. We're just reaching 70,000 followers on TikTok, so it's growing like crazy, and we're having a great conversation there. So if you are interested, we'd love to have you.
Awesome. I love it. Guys, just like he was saying, we'll see you over there. We get a ton of great questions. Oftentimes we get some questions that help direct us in the rest of our content for you guys. So join us on TikTok, because that's where a lot of the action's happening.
Perfect. Listen, have a wonderful day. Stay cool. It's another hot day, and just as a reminder, if you have children or animals, don't leave them in a hot car. Bad things happen. It's not only risking their lives, but it's illegal. So don't do that. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe and stay cool. Take care.